video, I'm going to show you a few ways to cut bangs. 2 ways to cut a curtain bang, 2 ways to cut a side bang, and 1 way to cut a square bang. As a general rule of thumb, I always cut bangs dry. If you've ever cut bangs wet and then had them dry, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They look nothing like how you cut them. There's growth patterns in that bang area, and the easiest and best way to cut bangs is dry. You'll avoid many problems that way. The first technique for cutting a curtain bang is this. Always cut your bang section. You're going to section from your apex to the outside corners of the eye, just like that, a nice triangle section. If you're having any issues with your sectioning, I'll have a video in the description and you can check it out and it will help you with your sectioning. So I have that section sectioned out, and I also have all of the other hair sectioned out as well. I'm just going to take the very center section, a little piece right in the center. When I pull down on this with lots of tension, and then I let it go, it's gonna pop up. Bangs are so important. And when you cut a bang, if you use a lot of tension, the client says, yeah, I want it cut right there. And you hold it nice and tight and you cut it there, it's not gonna end up there once you release it. I recommend that you just cut with very little tension or no tension at all. I hold on to the hair very lightly. I want the start of her curtain bang, the very shortest piece, to be right at the tip of her nose. I'm actually going to hold the hair down here so I don't have any tension, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to just take one little snip. See, I don't have any tension on the hair, and one little snip right in the center. That is going to be your shortest piece. Now what you want to do is you want to connect that into these lengths. This length, I do not want to go any shorter. I take my shortest piece here to my shortest piece here, and I want to connect those 2 pieces together. I'm going to use a technique called slide cutting for this. Slide cutting basically means I'm going to open and close my scissors very slowly and very lightly as I travel down the hair. So I know that I don't want to cut anything off of this length, but I want to connect it to this piece here that I just cut. So I am going to be cutting with some tension here. So I'm going to pull down on the hair. I'm going to let this hair fall out that I just cut, and then I'm just going to wiggle my scissors back and forth along the hair until it connects right down there with that long piece. So now you can see that it connects from the shortest right down to the longest. The left hand can be a little bit trickier, and I've seen different hairstylists cut the left hand side a bit different when it comes to slide cutting. The way that I like to do it is I like to pull it all toward me. I come in with my elbow up in the air. I let that short piece fall out, and again, I'm just gonna wiggle all the way down until that falls out. So the key with slide cutting is you don't want to use too much pressure. If you put a lot of pressure on your shears, you're going to end up just taking a hunk out of the hair, and you don't want that to happen. Lightly touch the surface of the hair and keep lots of tension so that you can really make sure that you have a really nice connection between the middle and the ends of the hair. So that's the first way to do it. If you're not really familiar with slide cutting or cutting in general, I would probably avoid doing this. If you're experienced with it, definitely go for it. But now I'm going to show you a really simple one that you can use. Just a straight cut and you have an instant curtain bang. So for this curtain bang technique, I have the entire fringe area, so from the apex to the corners of the eyes. I'm holding it right now with my right hand, but I'm going to take my left hand, and instead of holding it like this, I'm actually going to come under like this. Then I'm going to flip it like that. So I have a nice little twist. Depending on how short you want that center part to be will depend on where your fingers are going to be. So I can hold the hair way down here if I want to, or I can hold it up here. All depends on how short you want that center section to be. By twisting the hair, I'm causing over direction, which means I'm naturally going to get longer toward the sides. So let's do this one a little bit longer so you can see the effect of that. So there, I've twisted it, and now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and I'm going to cut a straight line. This is a big section of hair, so it's a little bit to cut through. Just going to cut that. Okay, and then when you release it, you have shorter to the center and longer to the sides. It's not going to be as dramatic as the curtain bang that we did before. How you can blend this in a little bit better, I took diagonal back sections. You can take this section, you don't want to lose your length, so you're going to let your length fall out, but you're going to take the longest piece that you cut here, and you're going to bring that forward, and you're just going to cut that corner off. Now you're probably going to need to regrip it so that it falls into that. Once you add in that little bit of softness there, it makes a big difference. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to bring it forward. I'm going to definitely let my length fall out. You never want to cut your length. Whenever you're doing connecting or blending, that's all you're doing. You've already done your haircut. You're just looking to blend or connect your lines. So I'm connecting the bang. If you've ever had a client that at the very end, they're like, you know what, I think I'd like to do a bang. Your haircut's already done. You don't need to cut any more. You're just looking to add that little bit of a face frame around it. The next bang is an asymmetrical bang, which means it goes shorter on one side and then longer to the other side. I'm going to start with the slide cutting technique. And the second way that I'm going to show you is without the slide cutting. I want to be shorter on this side and I want to be longer on this side. So I'm going to take my scissors in here and I'm going to slide cut through just like this. Okay, and I'm going to take another diagonal parting. Slide cutting works a little bit better if the bangs are a little longer. So there we have from shorter to longer. Once you cut it like this, it's very easy that you're going to see this blunt line through there. So what I like to do is I like to go through and I just take some vertical sections and I point cut. So point cutting, I'm going in and I'm cutting on the way out. So I'm going to just break up that line so that it's not so heavy. It just takes out some bulk. So I'm going to go all through that section and I'm just going to take out bulk. Now you want to make sure your scissors are straight. As soon as you turn your scissors, you're going to end up taking a chunk out of the hair instead of texturizing the hair. You're actually going to take length out and you don't want that. You like the length that's there. You're just looking to texturize. The next technique to do this, which is really, really easy, if you want the bangs to be longer on this side, you just take this whole section and you swing all of the hair over here and you just cut a straight line. And when you cut a straight line, it all falls down in that angle. It's super, super easy. But my recommendation would definitely be to go back through and texturize. Whenever you're cutting with bangs, softness is really, really important. So you want to make sure you just go back through and soften those up. With some point cutting, you can also do some razor. You can also do some slide cutting through the bang if you want to, just to kind of remove some of that bulk. Finally is a straight across bang. Even when I do straight across bangs, I still like to have it curve a little bit at the ends. Some people don't like that. That's okay. You can get rid of those. I still like to see that it just swerves a little bit down. You want to take the whole section. I'm going to just match it up with that short piece there that I've already cut. And I'm going to kind of release that because I don't want my bangs to pop up on me, and then regrip it. And then I'm going to go through and I'm just going to cut a line straight across. Now I'm not going to cut beyond my knuckle, so I'm going to regrip that. And I'm going to direct that into the center and regrip it and direct it into the center. With my students, I always do a technique called 1, 2, 3. When I pick this up, right now I have a line that brings it under like that. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take that corner off. Again, I always like to point cut whenever I'm working around the face. So that was my first section. Then I'm going to take the section on the side and I can see that piece that I just cut, and I'm going to take that corner off through there, and I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to take this corner off in here, and it just lightens it up a little bit. The other thing that you can do, you can hold this straight up in the air, and I'm going to come down and I'm going to point cut into that. Drop it. Continue to practice, practice, practice. For some more great hair tutorials, check out some of these videos. Don't forget to subscribe and have a great hair day.